Okay. And just in case you guys weren't aware, there's a transcription as well that you can open up in case you want to read some subtitles. So the way we like to start these workshops is we just like to let everyone do a very quick intro just to warm up the room, just to get acclimated and familiar with one another. So I just like to learn a bit more about all of you guys through the chat, or if you want to unmute your mic and speak out loud, that's also completely fine. Yeah, I just want to know a little bit about you guys, about your background, why you're interested in this workshop, kind of, an interesting fact about yourself, just a few little points. So whoever wants to go first, feel free to go ahead.
All right, I'll go. Do you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
My name is Igor. I live in Denver. I'm studying actually a cybersecurity school, like in a week, the Flatiron School. So that's like a boot camp for 4 months for cybersecurity engineering. So yeah, just pretty much I bartended for a few years. Don't really have like work experience with IT or cybersecurity per se, but yeah, it sounds interesting. It's something I've been kind of doing a lot of studying on my own, and I like to be doing that for quite a while.
Cool, awesome. So it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, who wants to go next? Either on the chat or out loud is fine. It's up to you. Either way is okay. See, some people are typing. Come on, guys. We want to know a little bit about you guys.
Hello, I'm Caden. I'm in Lone Tree at the moment. I'm just looking forward to meeting new people for networking and networking out and learning more about cybersecurity. And I was part of CCIC. They did a little program there where we learned some Linux and just kind of learned the basics of cybersecurity and virtual machines and computers and all of that. And right now I'm trying to get my network certificate and my security certificate, which I should have done earlier, but I just haven't.
Cool. It's a pleasure to have you here, Caden.
Thank you.
Okay, who wants to go next? You guys can just post like a quick sentence in the chat. If you don't want to actually speak, it's completely fine. It just gives us some good insight into, your experience and how we can help you out during the workshop.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Kara. I'm currently located in Seattle, and I've been in healthcare for 10 years, and I'm just over it at this point. So, looking towards tech, and I already attended the data analytics workshop. I know I don't want to do that. I think I want to do full stack, but I'm just attending this workshop just to make sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember. I think I remember you at the full stack workshop a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, awesome. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here for, I think, the second week in a row. Cool. Anyone else? So Govinda says, I am Govinda joining from California. Awesome. Yeah, guys, you can post in the chat if you don't want to speak. That's completely fine. We just want to, know who you are. Let's see. Anyone here from Colorado? Oh, Caden. So Caden and Igor are both from Colorado. That's cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Nia. I'm from Arkansas, and I'm a senior in college, majoring in psychology, but realizing it is not for me. However, I realized I had an interest in technology and cybersecurity, so I'm here. Cool, cool. I don't think we normally get too many college people here, so that's a nice, refreshing thing to see. Hello, I'm interested in the workshop because cybersecurity is becoming a hot topic. I have a master's in information systems, but have not had any IT experience. I have been working in audit for several years, and I think having more IT experience would be helpful. Cool, cool. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here, Tomeka. My name is Brittany. I'm currently a nurse and over the healthcare field and interested in switching to tech. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. It's interesting. We have a lot of people coming from healthcare. That's something that's been a very common occurrence. Awesome. Anyone else? Just a quick, very brief intro, just so we can get to know you. Okay, so I'll let you guys continue to type out some intros in the chat, and I'm gonna let John quickly introduce himself, and then he'll go right into his presentation. So just in case you guys don't know, John is he's our cybersecurity instructor, and he comes with a lot of experience, and he's definitely looking forward to helping you guys out however he can during the workshop and afterwards if you need that, answering any questions that you guys have. So we welcome you guys to if you have any questions about anything, you can post it in the chat, or you can even unmute your mic and speak up or raise your hand, or you're more than welcome to do that. This workshop is not meant to be like us lecturing you and you just sitting there and listening. It's meant to be very interactive and engaging, and we want you guys to, speak up and, interact with us. So I just want to preface by saying that. Also, I also want to start by saying that if you want to be notified of future events just like this one, we have workshops very often, almost every weekend. Please post your email in the chat. We'll add you to our newsletter, and you'll be informed of all free future events just like this one, as well as other informative content that could be beneficial to you and your tech career. And you can unsubscribe at any time if you're not interested, so you can always opt out. But yeah, please post your email in the chat, and I will hand it off to John, who will do an introduction and then go straight into his presentation.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Long. I have been doing this cybersecurity course for the last 2 courses of it. My background, I have 21 years worth of naval service. I am certified in A+, Sec+, Net+, Linux+, Linux Professional Institute 1. I also have ISC Squares SSCP, CIW Web Security Associate, CIW Web Security Professional, and there's quite a few other certifications that I have right now that I can't think off of the top of my head. But I'm also a graduate from Coastline Community College and their cybersecurity and networking associates. Also attended WGU and did their cybersecurity and information assurance degree program as well. As far as being in the industry, I've been around the industry for a long period of time. I am a defense network supervisor at this point, and I do that on weapon systems for the U.S. Navy. And then I teach these courses. Just a general breakdown on how the courses go. We do a lot of hands-on through Try Hack Me, and then we also have lectures and everything else that I conduct as well. With my knowledge that I have of majority of the certifications that get you into the industry, I do tend to provide a lot more information on those as well to get you started, to get you through them. I think that may be my entire introduction right there. Give me 1 second. We'll figure out this PowerPoint presentation to pull up. It should be quick, fast, and in a hurry. I was jotting down a few things.
Oh yeah. Did you get my text message? Can we? Is it possible to take this out?
Hey, Carl,
Yeah.
your
I
mic's
don't
on.
know why I get weird.
I got it, John. Don't worry.
All right, so thank you. I was jotting down a few things while you guys were posting and going over, and I understand why a lot of people would like to move on from the healthcare industry with how stressful that's been the last couple of years. And then for you guys also, doing other boot camps, breaking into tech, and I see, there is some experience here as well. So this will be great. Latest one I seen is Jamal's. So he's interested in, he's excited to be here, and he's done some Cisco networking certifications, including the QA, manual testing, automation. Okay, that's what's up. I'm also CCNA certified as well, so that helps.
Cool. So yeah, John, let me pull up the deck for you, and let's go ahead and get started.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Cool. Can you see my screen?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, so why are we here? Obviously, like the screen says, we're here to talk about exactly what cybersecurity is. Next slide, bro. All right, so our objectives for this, we would discuss cybersecurity, we would discuss the CIA triad, we would discuss why cybersecurity, the security terminology and technologies. We will also discuss job opportunities, some of the certifications that you can look forward to possibly getting into, and then we'll discuss why SkillSpire is where all of this should take place. All right, so cybersecurity is a global necessity. So why is it a global necessity? All right, because it's a global necessity because just like everything else, we are in the phase where everybody carries around a computer in their pockets. And with these small computers that we have that are much more powerful than the computers that it took to get us to the moon even, they come with risk. And with these risks, we have to protect ourselves and protect our investments, as well as also our things like our bank accounts, our PII, which are personal information, PHI in some cases, which is personal health information. So that's why cybersecurity is a global necessity.
Cool.
All right, so cybersecurity. So things to discuss will be defending cyberspace, the partners with information security, and then ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which is our CIA triad. All right, so again, the CIA triad, confidentiality. What does it mean? Revealing or sharing information to authorized personnel only. So that you want to ensure that only the people who are authorized to access this information can receive or be able to actually manipulate this information. All right, so integrity is information or data remains unchanged or accurate. So again, that falls right in line with confidentiality as well, because you want to ensure that we make sure that the actual information that we have is the correct information at all times, and everybody who should have access to it has access to this information. And then for our availability, data or services is accessible to those who need it when they need it. So again, we want to make sure that the right persons are the only people who can access this information. We want to make sure that it is the correct information. And then for the availability, we want to make sure that that information remains available when it's needed. All right, and so again, why cybersecurity? It is an increasingly fast-growing field, ongoing technological development, rewarding and interesting field, global industry, high demand, high pay, and anyone can learn. All of these things are extremely important because they feed our industry. For all of you people that are at this conference right now, I'm pretty sure that at some point you've heard that there are quite a few number of jobs that are out there that go unfilled every year, approximately anywhere from 2 to 4 million a year globally. And the reason being is because technology changes at a moment's notice. So with technology changing as fast as it does, that also leads us into what can threaten technology, because threats continue to grow as technology grows as well. Next slide. All right, so our security terminologies: asset, vulnerability, exploit, threat, and risk. All right, so obviously our asset is what we're trying to protect. The vulnerability is going to be what's going to stand in our way or what's stopping us from protecting it. And then our exploit is what can be used in a manner of gaining access to it or making our asset not accessible to us. And then a threat obviously is just as it sounds. And then the risk is what we look at when it goes into the project management side of the house as into whether or not we're willing to mitigate risk, when we do a risk assessment, whether we need to avoid risk, all of these things that can potentially hurt us in this job field. Next slide. All right, so some more security technologies. Antivirus. We all know what an antivirus is by this time because computers and laptops have been around for a long time. But just a quick dive into it. It expects, detects, and removes malicious programs and uses signatures and hashes for identifying programs. So what signatures and hashes are is basically just as it sounds. Whenever you sign your name to something, then your signature is verified. Based upon the pattern of how you sign your name, whenever viruses come about or viruses are developed by new individuals or old individuals, oftentimes they leave a signature because that's the common way of accessing that particular program. Hashes are numerical values that the easiest way to put it, hashes are numerical values that set a trend. And then for firewalls, inspects, detects, and drops or blocks traffic based on policies, uses IP ports and other informations. So we already know about firewalls if you're dealing with any kind of networking systems or just your basic at-home systems as well. Most cable companies install their own firewalls to say what it is that you can and cannot do upon your network. Easiest way of thinking about that. All right, so the types of malware. Viruses, Trojan horses, spyware, ransomware, and again, spyware. So viruses are self-replicating diseases basically to a computer. So they can spread in a numerous amount of fashions. Trojan horses are, again, if you're familiar with times of Greek or ancient mythology and everything like that, a Trojan horse appears to be one thing, but once opened, it is something totally different and is malicious. Spyware is, again, it's all about someone spying on your system to see what trends and everything else that you tend to use, and then try to use that same information in order to gain access to your system. And then ransomware is when somebody has access to something that is yours or that is your company's, and they want money in some way, shape, form, or fashion, or monetary value in some way, shape, form, or fashion in order to gain access back to that information. Next slide.
Cool. And just to kind of butt in here, John, if anyone has any questions, feel free to, unmute your mic or post in the chat. You can interrupt us at any point in time. So I just want to let you guys know. Go ahead, John.
Hey, does it seem like I'm going too fast? I don't want to speed through it.
No, you're good. I just want to let people know that the floor is open for them to speak up if they would like to. But yeah, you're good.
Roger, thanks. So for our hacker types, we have ethical hackers, which are codenamed white hat. We have gray hat hackers, and then we have unethical hackers, which are codenamed black hat. All right, so obviously you can see ethical hackers and unethical hackers are white hat and black hat, and then you have gray hat in the middle. So a gray hat would technically be a cross in between both. So ethical hackers are going to be the ones that normally work for your company, and they have access to certain things, or they have the information in order to access certain things to test for vulnerabilities. And then unethical hackers are your black hat hackers, which are, again, those who don't have access to those things, but they're going to try to get access to them anyway. Gray hats are what falls in between. They have access to some things, other things they don't, and then they continue to try to push into the things that they don't have access to. All right, so this is probably why majority of people are here, is this slide alone. So jobs, attack or defense or both. All right, so red team, this is your testing system reliability and efficiency, providing security assessments, looking for vulnerabilities. So those are obviously going to be the people who are on your team that are here to help and right wrongs of not necessarily the hardware or the systems or programs, but to fix those small issues in order to keep people out of our systems. All right, the red team positions. Again, your ethical hacker, those are your white hats. Vulnerability assessment analysts, cybersecurity crime investigators, and then threat replication engineers. So a threat replication engineer is basically exactly what it says. So they're going to try to replicate what allowed you to get hacked into the first place, or the practices of known hackers, in order to, again, keep your assets secure. All right, blue team. So preventing security breaches, system monitoring for threats, researching new technologies, and maintenance of the system security. So your blue team tends to be more of your active team. All right, so they're always looking for things that are happening, monitoring different technologies, and monitoring your systems that you have in place. All right, and these are your blue team positions. So you have your network operations centers, whether you have your admins, technicians, or your analysts. You have your SOCs or your security operations centers with the same admin, technicians, and analysts. You have network security admin / tech. You have system admins, and then you have IT support engineers. All right, and these are, again, some of the certifications that you can look forward to possibly taking after doing these courses. So I noticed that, let me see, I wrote it down. Caden, you said that you were working on Network Plus and Sec Plus. You were looking to do those. We definitely touch on the information for those. And definitely certified ethical hacker. And again, I delve into SFCP as well, since that's one of the certifications that I also hold. And we also touch the other ones as far as the Linux Professional Institute, Linux Essentials, EC Council's Certified Network Defender, and also AWS, which is the Amazon Web Services Certified Cloud Practitioner, excuse me. All right, so how much can I make? All right, so this is going to vary on experience, skills, jobs, certifications, and location. All right, so generally, cybersecurity skills can give you the potential for $100,000 plus. Junior positions can start slightly less than $100,000, but can escalate very quickly. So, leaving it here for a second, things that will increase your worthwhile effort and will increase your knowledge base is actually doing a lot of labs, i.e. like the Try Hack Me courses. It's about being able to talk the talk and walk the walk when you're put into a position. So any of your CompTIA exams, you normally have a practical that's in the beginning of the exam, to where you have to go on their system and display certain features or certain things that you've learned in their own lab within that certification. All right, and this is what is going to directly impact your starting potential and also where you end up at. Cybersecurity is a great field to be in because it is one where you can continually learn and continually move to another position somewhere, generally making the same, if not more money as you move. Next slide, please. All right, so SkillSpire. So this is your fast track with cybersecurity. All right, so why SkillSpire? All right, so the syllabus and structure allows for fast learning and self-teaching. All right, and it's also can be faster than self-teaching as well because again, we touch on quite a few different other things. So it's a more affordable track into a new career. Instructors with industry experience trained to teach, and they are passionate, which would be me. I seem to be passionate, I think. I love this. Your ability to build your network, and then your proof of skill using certifications. So we generally covered that in the last couple of slides as well. All right, and so faster than a university. So universities can be extremely expensive, require additional courses, can wait 4 years to start working, focus on technical concepts, and then career services are included. So the big thing about the difference in between here and a university is you're going to gain a lot of the same information that you would gain at a university, except it's going to be more cybersecurity centric. There is no English class that you need to take. There is no math class that you need to take. So your money is spent where you want to invest your future.
Oh, so sorry, John, just to kind of, so Jamal asked a question. How long is your program and duration?
All right, so the program it's a 16-week program. And then it's done from Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are 3 hours a night. And then Saturdays are 6 hours. And that includes your lab time and that includes your lecture time as well. Says, so quit my job. No, you don't have to, and I wouldn't. Courses are part-time again. Classes held off hours, evenings, and weekends. Again, like we just discussed. Missed a class, it's all recorded, and I post it in the particular cohort to where everybody has access to it. So even if whether you missed it or not, if you felt like you didn't get all of the information that you wanted to gain, then you can always go back and go view it again. And then stuck and need help, someone's always available. All right, and then this states it's a demo on path attack.
So I just want to pause here for a second. When I want to go around the room. I know Jamal asked a question. Does anyone else have any questions about anything we've gone through, the industry, content? Want to help you guys out, salaries, before we continue?
Yeah, I do have a question. How do you guys exactly, I think I noticed one of the parts of the school is the career assistance, right? How do you guys do that after, like, I assume you give some sort of certification of completion, and then how long do you help with a career or with finding jobs, and how do you approach it?
Yeah, so I'll kind of give my answer and then I'll let John as well tune in because he can give you a more, I guess, technical answer. But as far as the career services go, so yeah, absolutely. So, we have a team in place who helps, our graduated students. Once you're about partially through the program, they'll start to begin to work with you in the background to kind of, optimize your resume, your LinkedIn, and kind of polish your skills. And so that once you graduate, we've had some students, I believe, get jobs before even graduating. Although I don't think that's the norm. But you know, once you're done graduating, you'll do like a more in-depth research, and we'll help you out. We'll kind of scour the market, help you find opportunities. We never guarantee you any jobs. So that's one thing we don't do. We don't set you up for false promises. However, we do everything in our power. We give you all the tools and resources to, you know, put you up for success. So as far as placement numbers go, I think it's around 70% or so. That includes people who land jobs, paid internships, free internships, and apprenticeships. So that's all lumped together in one. So some people start out right off the gate with an actual paying job. Some people need to go the free internship route. But the point really is that like you really want to just get your foot in the door, because once you have that first that first opportunity, that first position where you're gaining like on hand, like on the job experience, that's where like, you know, you're really getting put into a good position to kind of catapult your career to the next level. And that's really what we're trying to do. So like, even if, you know, right out of the gate, you're not making like, you know, 70 or 80K, if you're even able to just get like that initial traction, that initial like first internship, even if it is, or apprenticeship, that is really kind of what we're trying to do. And if you are able to get a job, we have had students get jobs right out of the gate. That's, you know, that's awesome. We just don't want to set you up and kind of lie to you and put you up for like false hopes and expectations, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Okay, so Jamal asks a good question. Do you teach all of the requirements in your cybersecurity program field, like business intelligence, data mining, information security, risk management, systems security management, penetration testing, network security, and systems cybersecurity engineering? Thanks.
I'll take that one.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. So I will tell you that we do touch on quite a few of those, but you have to remember that the cybersecurity industry is a very large industry. So we couldn't deep dive into each one of those, making it, you know, a sole priority. The way that we go about it is, again, we touch on those and then we go mid-level, I would say. I'd say probably about a 500-foot view versus a 20-foot view on each one of those. And the reason behind that being is because we don't want to claim this to be a cybersecurity program and then basically force you into only one area of cybersecurity on its own, if that makes sense.
Cool. And so sorry, John, I kind of interrupted on the previous question. Do you have any kind of input for? He was asking about the job search process and things like that.
Oh no, you covered everything. I know Miss Paula, she comes in and she does, you know, to help you with the resume writing and LinkedIn stuff and things like that, everything that you covered. And that's pretty much what's gonna help you. The biggest point is knowing exactly what side of cybersecurity or what, you know, hallway you want to walk down in cybersecurity. That's what's going to help you the most.
Cool. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
I guess I have another question. Do you guys? Okay, I'm sorry. Do you guys focus primarily on the U.S. audience and U.S. employers, or do you have experience of pretty much getting jobs people across the internationally?
Yeah, so the US, I know recently we've talked about expanding into certain parts of Asia, but yeah, it's been the US. I think Canada is something we've also kind of tried to, or beginning, I guess, the preliminary kind of interest in venturing into that market. But yeah, it's pretty much been all the US. Pretty much, I would say, I'm kind of trying to think. I don't think we've had an international student. We might have had one or two, but yeah, the US. Are you based in the U.S.? I'm sure. Is that Igor?
Yeah, I do live in the U.S. I'm just trying to see if I were not to stay here, will I be able to kind of have options?
Okay. Yeah. So I think. So Terry would be the one you'd want to speak with. She's like our main career development kind of manager. I mean, so we don't want to, because we don't have as much. We really don't have experience like venturing out into other countries. Of course, it would depend which country it is. I think, for example, Canada would be an easier one to kind of transition into than, for example, if you were going somewhere where the culture and market is totally different. Do you mind me asking which country potentially you would be interested in venturing into?
I'm from Ukraine. I don't have like a country in my mind, but I just don't know. I can't be sure about my future in the U.S. That's how I want to put it.
Okay. Yeah, I
Hey,
think. Sorry, go ahead.
just quick. So within the course, we do discuss some of the differences in the laws once you cross, different actual continental boundaries. So we do touch on that. That's where we go with that one. Things like GPDRs and things like that, where information once it leaves from one country to the next. So we do discuss that. I will say that. But as far as deep delving into an industry in another country, I haven't seen that one with anything that I've been doing in my courses.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Good insight, John. Yeah. So I think you'd want to maybe talk to Terry. If you want, what I can do is I can put Terry's email into the chat. So Terry, just to give you a bit of background, she's like our main. She does a lot of the career development work for us. She's really great. And so if you want to reach out to her, feel free. Just let her know that you joined the cybersecurity workshop today, and then let her know that FaZe referred you over to her.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So any other questions before we just want to make sure you guys are good.
I guess what do you guys what is your price then for the given program?
Yeah, so the price is so it depends on whether you opt for a one-time payment or a monthly program. We also offer lots of scholarships, discounts, and things of that nature. So it can vary a bit. I'm going to do a bit of research because I know our okay, so the course fee is $59.99. And that's $5,999, and that's going to vary, like I said, depending on whether you opt for monthly payments or a one-time payment. Also, depending on whether you are eligible for scholarships. So we offer scholarships. We have discounts depending on various factors. So, for example, we have an early bird scholarship where you get a decent-sized discount for signing up a bit early on. I think before 2 weeks before the course starts. We have other scholarships and discounts as well. So, so if you use a monthly payment, it's $64.99 payable over 5 months, and so you'll get with our kind of payment coordinator, and you'll come up with like a plan for how exactly you want to do things. It can vary from student to student depending on the things I just mentioned. So that's why it's kind of difficult to put one exact number. But yeah, so the core numbers are $59.99 and $64.99. And I also want to mention that if you are a veteran, we are approved to accept GI Bill benefits. So that's an important point for all you vets out there. We've had a lot of veteran students. John himself is a veteran. So, the veteran community has definitely been one of our favorite student populations to work with.
Do you guys have experience or practice of hiring your own students, your own graduates in the company?
Actually, we have, so I know, so we have, for a lot of our courses, we have TAs, and I know that we've hired a few of our old students. Excuse me one second. Sorry about that. Yeah, we do actually. So I know for our full stack course, we did hire actually a few of our old former students as TAs. I think we did it for data analytics as well. So we've definitely done it like a number of times. So yeah, that is something we've done.
So you mentioned the cybersecurity and data analytics. What other courses or subjects do you do this?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we have a number of courses. So our most popular one is probably the full stack one. That's probably the most, I would say, beginner friendly in terms of it's the most, I guess, holistic. It kind of walks you through the back end, the front end, and it's probably one of the ones that's best for beginners to kind of go through. We have our data analytics that's intro and advanced. So each section is 12 weeks. The intro is probably another one that's a bit more beginner friendly relative to the other courses. We have our cybersecurity course, of course. We have software engineering. So we have Java and cloud computing with Amazon Web Services is one course that we have. And then we have C#, .NET, and Azure Cloud as another one. Both of those are 20 weeks. So basically the full stack and the cybersecurity are 16 weeks. The intro to DA, the advanced DA are each 12 weeks. The Java and the C# are each 20 weeks. So, and then I think we're also kind of in the future looking to roll out iOS app, mobile app development, as well as UX design. But those are projects that we're kind of working on in the background right now. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course. Cool, cool. Any questions? Any other questions, guys? John, did you want to quickly go through the other deck?
Yeah, that's not a problem. I don't mind.
Cool, cool. So lucky for you guys, you get like a double presentation today. So got a bit more content to cover for you guys. If any questions do come up along the way, just post it in the chat or unmute your mic and speak up. But I'll leave it back up to John and I'll pull up his PowerPoint right here.
All right, so as we were speaking about earlier, this one's gonna cover some of the same material, so I'm not gonna beat your face in with that or what they call beat a dead horse or whatnot. But like I said, with where we are in the world today, everywhere around us is a digital war zone. Next slide, please. All right, so the new battlefield. We also discussed that earlier, again, everywhere around us. So everyday actions are now fully integrated within the realm of cyberspace. Not so long ago, technology was a minority. Today's almost all aspects of business, even daily life, are encased within binary codes of ones and zeros. So you really have to put that into perspective for today with the advent of things like smart homes. Anything that can be attached to your network that is considered a smart home, whether it be your lights, other cameras, and everything else like that. Any laptops, any telephones, anything that has an IP address. It basically brings you into this digital war zone. All right, so next slide, please. All right, so the definition according to Merriam-Webster. All right, is a measure taken to protect a computer or computer systems as on the internet, because the internet is a computer system in itself, and against unauthorized access or attack. So what cybersecurity really is the dedication to a way of life. This is something that we look at, that we want to get into in the way that we want to live in order to help others. So oftentimes we are committed to selfless acts in order to better things for the people around us or for generations to come. All right, and then the total cost of cybercrime. So you can look at the difference in between 2013 and 2020. It will continue to multiply. It will, because the more things that, again, you have access to on your laptops, your tablets, your phones, the greater security risk that your information gets out becomes. All right, then these are some of the most famous cyber attacks to ever happen. Things like WannaCry. So WannaCry was a 4-day attack that took out more than 200,000 computers and put malware into a global spotlight. You have your NotPetya or your Xpetier. All right, and this one was estimated at $4 to $10 billion in damages. Dark Hotel. So everywhere has an open Wi-Fi hotspot and everything else like that, as far as cafes, hotels. Those are oftentimes utilized to gain access to your information. And again, the ransomware comes into play. And then you have things like DDoS, which is your distributed denial of service attacks, which basically is blocking you from gaining access to whatever information that it is that you're trying to gain access to, whether it be a website or things of that nature. Oftentimes, those things now, to put it into retrospect, is shoes. So the shoe game that everybody is a part of now, for the most part, with ordering shoes online and things like that, you oftentimes hear of, I didn't get this pair of shoes because I didn't make the raffle. Oftentimes what does happen is the DDoS attack, which uses things called bots. And bots are, again, things that are on a network. So it's like a small computer, or using an IP address to make it seem like a computer, and send out ping requests and other things like that in order to slow down service, or again, not allow service at all. All right, and so for the cost of being too late, when it comes to what the cost of a cyber attack is. So reputational loss, because obviously that's going to hurt your business anytime people can't access what it is that they want to access on your website. Management of time. So going to require more time from more employees, which could possibly cost you more money, and things like overtime or whatever else. Customer losses. If you lose my information, or quite honestly, if you lose anybody's information, or someone else gains access that's not supposed to have it, 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose business. And then you have your cleanup cost with any destruction that a particular event could have occurred or could have cost you. Direct losses all lead back to the top 4 again, and then competitiveness, because 9 times out of 10, just because you provide a service doesn't mean you're the only one. So people are more liable to take their business from your place of business to your competitors. And then customer behavior change. I think that's pretty much self-explanatory, when people don't want to deal with your business based off of practices. And then individual loss or damages. If it's substantial enough and your workers feel like they can't recover, or that your business won't recover, oftentimes they will leave and go to competitors as well. And then you have the chart on the right-hand side over here, and then it's asking you, how much does a cyber attack cost an organization, and what the business impacts are. And then, this place conducted a study, conducted 2 surveys of IT professionals to find out. And I'm not going to break that down completely, but you can see in detail just how drastic things can happen and how fast they can happen. All right, and then this is a shortage of cybersecurity professionals that I was talking about earlier. So again, at the date of this, in 2019, there were 4.7 million jobs available, the largest being 2.6 million in the Asian area, on the Asian continent, excuse me, 308,000 in Europe, 600,000 in Latin America, and then North America had a little over 500,000. So if you notice, where you start seeing technology come more online faster is going to be your biggest push for these cybersecurity professionals that they're looking for. All right, and then it says advance your career and save the world. So these 3 bullets right here we discussed in more in detail in the last slide, so I won't beat a dead horse on those.
Sorry, I was muted. Any other questions? We just want to help you guys out however we can. We covered a lot of slides. Is there anything that you guys wanted us to elaborate on or anything like that? Feel free to post any questions on the chat, or you can unmute and speak up as well. Either way is fine. Cool. So while people come up with questions, John, I just want to kind of is there any kind of last minute advice you would give to people who are interested? I had kind of one, and I'd like you to kind of give your 2 cents on this thing that I'm about to say, which is that cybersecurity is it's probably not the best field if you're a complete fresh raw beginner. That it helps to have some background in some capacity, to some extent. That's what I've kind of heard from people, within who work with people in the industry, and kind of advising that if you're coming in completely green without any experience whatsoever, like you're transferring from a field like, let's say, literature or something like that, where you have no experience whatsoever, probably not the best. What do you kind of have to say about that?
I'd be on the contrary. And the
Okay.
reason why I'd be on the contrary with it is because with all of the tools that are out there today, in today's world, if this were the 1990s where everybody didn't have access to internet, or even the early 2000s time frame, to where it was still brand new, but with all of the literature that is out there, my biggest thing would be, for anyone who's thinking about the cyber industry, do your research. Do your research on it and figure out what area interests you, because the area of interest can be, night and day. You don't want to focus your studies on networking if you plan to go do digital forensics, or if you plan to do policy, or if you plan to do, information assurance. It's the possibilities are endless at the end of the day. I think that with the advent of technology and where we are in today's world, I feel like we really have a lot more resources that are available for people to try to nail down an industry before getting into it. Oftentimes when people go to college straight out of high school, something sounds cool, and that's where they choose to focus their efforts in doing. And then when they actually get into college, 2, almost 3 years in, they're like, this ain't really what I thought it was going to be. And I really ain't looking forward to possibly doing this as a career. So with cybersecurity, with it having so many avenues and lanes, you can get into an area of cybersecurity and say, oh, this ain't what I thought it was. Let me go over here and go do some research in this area. I want to go try this. So there's a lot more lateral conversion aspects on it than a lot of other jobs. Like if you're an electronic engineer, not a lot of lateral convergence there. I know because in the early 2000s when I joined the Navy, that's what I wanted to do, was be an electronic engineer. I've accomplished that, and I moved on from it because of the lack of lateral advancements or lateral movement in it. And then I got into the cybersecurity industry because I like being able to do what I want to do and move how I want to move when I want to. I don't like to be limited. And I think the cybersecurity industry definitely opens that possibility up.
Okay, interesting. So would your advice to people here who are, I guess, green meaning like brand new, would it be to maybe try out some free courses on Udemy or YouTube or things like that?
Not necessarily. And the reason why I wouldn't say not necessarily is because, yes, you can read the information, but oftentimes not having a mentor or counselor be able to explain to you exactly what it is that you read, certain things may be not as within grasp as, other things are. So at least with SkillSpire, we kind of put you in a, even if you are, quote unquote green, you get those foundations and those building blocks. You can't build a house from the roof up, from the roof down. You have to build a house from the foundation up, if that makes sense. And we provide that foundation.
Okay, interesting. Cool. Do you have any other last, I guess words of advice for anyone here who's interested or who wants to figure out whether this is a good career path for them? What kind of, I guess, fatherly advice would you give them?
Fatherly advice. Well, I got 5 kids, so fatherly advice is, again, probably, look at a couple things and, again, do your research to see what interests you. Because at the end of the day, you want to have a career that doesn't seem like work. You want to make getting paid a bonus per se versus, making it a nuance. So find out what interests you. Obviously, cybersecurity interests you if you're here, but go another layer or 2 deeper as into see what area of cybersecurity interests you, whether it be the programming aspect of it or whether it be, again, networking or policy and procedure or, security in itself, things like that, network security. Just that one extra layer will definitely help focus your efforts on where you want to spend your time at, instead of being all over the board trying to get a bunch of certs that, possibly might have no meaning to you or not be where you want to end up at, if that makes sense.
Cool. Any last minute questions, guys? However we can help you. I know Igor is pushing away his dogs.
I'm willing to answer any question that's asked. I'm a pretty straight shooter, I've been told, so.
Yeah, guys, ask away. We want to help out however we can. So if you have any questions about salaries or jobs or the course or industry, feel free to ask away. Okay. If no one has any questions, if you do, please feel to speak up. Please feel free to speak up. Excuse me. If not, I just want to kind of remind you guys to put your email into the chat. We'll remind you of future events just like this one. We have free workshops very often, almost every weekend. We'll also notify you of developments in the industry and course updates and things like that. And you can always unsubscribe at any point in time, whenever you wish. So you're not obliged whatsoever. This is really to help you guys out, keep you guys in the loop, and you can always email us with your questions as well. So we just want to help you out however we can. So someone put their email in the chat. Thank you very much. If there's no other questions, guys, I just want to thank you very much for joining us on this Saturday. We hope that it's been a very informative and entertaining event for you guys, that it's been beneficial for you. I want to thank John for taking time out of his Saturday to present to you guys. He's the main cybersecurity guy. I'm just the marketing guy. So, I'm just housekeeping. But thank you guys very much. If you have any questions, I am putting my email into the chat. You can email me. You can email the main Skillspire email. I'm putting the email for that as well. You can check out our website, skillspire.net. We want to hear from you guys. So if you have any questions about this workshop, we'll be sending out the recording to you. So if you came through Facebook, you'll be in our list. If you came through Meetup, we'll send it to you as well. However, on Meetup, we do not have your email. So if you came through Meetup, you would need to put your email into the chat. We'll include you in the list, and you'll receive the recording for the workshop afterwards. I think we have a workshop next weekend as well. I think it's technical interviews for dummies. So that's kind of a unique spin that we're doing next weekend. If that's something you're interested in, please feel free to check out our Meetup page. Thank you very much, John. Thank you all for joining us on Saturday. If you have any last minute questions, you can post it in the chat or speak up. If not, then I hope you all have an amazing rest of your weekend.
Hey, bro, thanks a lot. I can't wait to retire so I can get your beard, man.
Yeah, I'm I'm fully remote, so my I have no obligation to take off my beard.
Hey, man, I can dig it. Nope. Once these years are done, that's pretty much it. That's where first place I'm going is to my beard. That is it.
So I see we have a couple of people here. Do you guys have any questions, Jason and Layla? If you do, feel free to ask away. If not, that's completely fine. Just want to make sure.
I think it's just me and you, man.
We do have a couple people left. I think maybe they left it and forgot. Okay, so someone left. Jason, I think you're the last one here. Do you have any questions? Okay, there we go. Cool. Cool. Okay, let me stop the recording.